How do you rationalize in a surd? Now, in a case whereby you have a fraction in a surd of which the denominator is it's a surd, it is best way for you to just rationalize the denominator. And how do you go about it? Let's take an illustration. For example, if you have a over root b. Now, know fully that this is our what? This is our numerator, and this is our denominator, of which this denominator is carrying what is a surd. This is a surd. Now, if you have a fraction like this of which the denominator is a surd, the best way to evaluate that is just to rationalize. Now, what do we mean by to rationalize the denominator? It means to make this denominator a whole number, to turn it to a whole number, not in a surd form. Now, how do we go about it? Now, if you have your a over root b, now to rationalize, you multiply the numerator and the denominator with the value of the surd in your denominator. Now, for example, you multiply it with what? With your root b, denominator with root b, then you multiply the denominator too with root b. Now, what will be our value for this? Then our value for this will be a times root b is equal to what? Is equal to a root b over root b times root b. You know, root b times root b will equally give us b. But let me just explain. That will be b times b. Then you have your what? A root b over root b square. Now, what is the square root of b square? It will be a root b is equal to b. Now, when you rationalize this surd, you have been able to turn this surd to a what? To a rational number. This is a rational number. You have been able to turn this surd to a rational number. I'm going to be using like 3 examples to explain this to us, because this is just an illustration. Now let's continue. Here, I'm going to be using these 3 examples to explain how you can rationalize the denominator of a fraction when you have the denominator as a surd. Now, how can we go about this? This is the way you can go about it. This is number 1. Number 1 says 3 over root 2. Now, from my previous illustration, how do we go about it? To rationalize this denominator, you have to multiply the value of the root with the numerator and the denominator. How do we go about it? Now you have your 3 over root 2 times, now you have your what? Root 2 over root 2. Now, what will be your value? 3 times root 2 will give us what? 3 root 2 over root 2 times root 2 will be what? 2 times 2, and that will be 3 root 2 over root 4. And finally, you have your answer to be what? 3 root 2 over square root of 4 is equal to what? 2. Now, that is the first question. Now, let's go to the second question. Also, something similar. Now, looking at this question, you have 7 over root 18. Now, you will see that this is a larger surd. This is a larger root, of which the radicand is very what? Is very large. Now, if you see my video on simplification, what will you do here first? Firstly, you have to simplify this root 18. Now, let's continue. Now, you have your what? You have your 7 root 18. Now, how do we simplify this? You have your 7 root 18 will also be what? Will also be 7 over, simplify this root 18. How do we simplify? Find 2 factors, of which one will be a perfect square. Now, multiplying them, that will be 9 times 2. This is a perfect square. Then you have what? 7 over root 9 times root 2. Now, you have what? You have it to be 7 over square root of 9 is 3 root 2. Now, after getting this answer, how do we rationalize this fraction? Because we still have our denominator to be having a surd. Now, this is how we go about it. You have your 7 over 3 root 2 times, multiply the numerator and the denominator with the surd, root 2. Then you have it to be root 2 over root 2. Now, 7 times root 2 will give us what? Will give us 7 root 2 over 3 times 1, whole number, 3. Root 2 times root 2 is what? Straight away, root 4. Now, we have our value to be what? 7 root 2 over square root of 4 is 2. That will be 3 times 2. Now, you have it to be 7 root 2 over 6. That's on this. I believe you understand the way the process went. When we got to this part, we had to start rationalizing. After getting our value, we rationalized from this part to this part. Now, let's go to the third example. This is 5 root 5. 5 root 5. How do we go about this? Now, you bring out your 5 over root 5. Then to rationalize, you multiply both the numerator and the denominator with root 5, with the denominator surd. Root 5 over root 5. Now, what will be your answer here? 5 times root 5 is what? 5 root 5 over 5. Root 5 times root 5 is what? Root 25. Then you have 5 root 5 is equal to square root of 25 is 5. Now, from here, we have 5, we cancel here, 5 here 1, 5 here 1, 5, we cancel out 5. Then you have our final answer to be root 5. Now, with these 3 examples, I believe you should be able to rationalize a fraction having its denominator as a surd. Thank you.